I hated living on the east side of Dallas, specifically in Forney, Texas, right in between Mesquite and Terrell. And after a few years of living over there, I realized this just wasn't the right move for me. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down why people moved to the east side of Dallas and why I did too, the daily challenges that made me regret it, from traffic to lifestyle to safety, and why I chose to move to North Dallas instead and how it completely changed our lifestyle. My name is Preston Gale. I'm a top 1% realtor here in the Dallas, Texas area, and I've helped over 100 people relocate here in just the last couple of years through this channel alone. And I'm here to basically break down these areas and help you make the best decision for your family, so you're not only going to be happy short term but long term. So why did I choose this East Dallas suburban area? The first reason was because I was literally born and raised in the Forney area, and when I went off to college I needed to come back to a place that I knew that we could get jobs and that I was comfortable with. I absolutely loved this area growing up, and when I moved back, things were still extremely affordable compared to a lot of other neighboring suburbs that were very similar. So we didn't have a big budget. Me and my wife were very young when we got married, and without a lot of money, Forney was a great option for us. We still had the access that was pretty close to Dallas. We had a lot more options in the Forney area because of all the new construction that was being built there. And we absolutely loved being able to head to Dallas, and with the appreciation that we thought we were going to expect in the Forney area because of all the natural growth, we were just excited for not only to move there temporarily but for long term in the future. Forney had one of the widest range of new construction options that I had ever seen, and at the time I really was interested in real estate but didn't know a whole lot about it. But just doing some Zillow searches and looking online, there was just so much more to choose from when it came to Forney and being in a central location. So I kind of liked that quiet lifestyle. With that being said, we were thinking about the future, having a family and that type of thing, and so that Forney fit all of those needs at the time. So let's jump into the harsh truths that we discovered pretty quickly. Crushing commute time. So when I lived in Forney, we had Highway 80, Highway 20, 635, and we could just zoom back and forth all day long. It was no problem whatsoever, but they have built so many houses over the years there, and the infrastructure as far as the roadways go, they haven't really done anything to it. I think to this day, Highway 80 is still the 2 lanes each way. So if there's one wreck in the morning, it's going to absolutely wreck your commute and you're not going to be able to make it to work. The number one deciding factor in us moving was basically the commute times. I was a McKinney fireman at the time, and I was very new at the time of being a fireman, and I almost lost my job the first week I was there because an 18-wheeler had flipped on the highway and basically made me late to work my first week. And I think I left like an hour and a half early for a 40-minute trip. And then one thing that a lot of people don't tell you and haven't talked about in videos that I've watched about Forney, Texas and living there is that they have one of the most active train tracks I've ever seen. Basically growing up there, I grew up very close to that train track. These aren't just your little 1-2 minute trains. You're gonna sit there for 10+ minute trains that happen quite often because these trains literally go right through the center of the busiest areas of town. So imagine going to pick up your kids from school, you get stopped by the train on this busy stop and go highway that was already backed up. Now you've got a train that's backing up another 10 minutes. And another thing that I started to notice as I got more involved in real estate itself was that the lower home values in Forney in general. Forney has tons of new construction options. It's a great place for first-time home buyers. So if you have affordable new construction, it's good to be in an area that has affordable, high-end, a little bit of everything mixed in between. But I noticed that the majority of the places that was being built in and around Forney was all very, very cheap new constructions, which those communities most of the time end up turning into the majority of renters, which is fine. I've rented many times myself, but when your community turns into all rentals and everybody that owns that home is in an LLC that's never even been there, things and issues can happen. So the appreciation, which has been great all over Dallas, has slowed down quite a bit more in places like Forney. I also noticed after living there for a while that the crime rates had raised quite a bit in Forney and surrounding areas. Now I used to go over to Mesquite all the time to hang out at Town East Mall and other places like that, and they were a luxury. They were super nice areas, great restaurants, and over time those have kind of gone down the drain. Basically anytime I'd hop online or see something, there was a new article about some crime happening in or around Forney, which is just something I wasn't used to being around and something I didn't know if I wanted to raise my family around. So I'm not saying it is one of the worst places by any means whatsoever. I still think it's a pretty solid area area overall, but comparing it to other places like the North Dallas suburbs, the crime was much higher for the size of the town. There was also little to no amenities in Forney, and that's kind of true still to this day. Now, they do have a few little shopping centers here or there with a couple of boutique stores and things like that, a cute little downtown. And when I was growing up there, when I was a senior, we were really pumped. We got a Chili's, and that was the only restaurant in town that was actually a chain restaurant. Everything else was just small mom and pop stores. That, for the most part, is still the case. There's not a whole lot to do as far as entertainment goes. If you're doing anything entertaining, you're either going to Dallas or you're going north to Rockwall. So what finally pushed me to make the move, and why did we decide on North Dallas? I'll jump into the first one, and that is going to be entertainment. There was so much going on in the North Dallas area. It's unbelievable. If you ever come to visit, whether just to look around or look for a house, you will see that everything north of the big city has everything that downtown Dallas has, and then some, only it's brand new. So I almost never go to Dallas for anything anymore unless it's to go hit up a Mavericks game or a Stars hockey game. That is about it. They're constantly building, developing, and expanding in these areas. So we saw all the news stories and everything that was going that way and visited these areas quite often, and just got excited about what was to come to those areas. So for instance, just in the last decade, like the Star in Frisco, absolutely incredible area called the $1 Billion Mile. Basically all the shopping, dining, high-end restaurants, Cowboys facility where they do tours, training camp, the Omni Hotel. They have the PGA headquarters that just opened up about a year or so ago, where the Fields neighborhood is being built as well. You've got two beautiful PGA golf courses, the PGA East, PGA West. They have a 2-acre putting green. Putting green, by the way, is absolutely free, so you can go out there, putt with your kids on real grass and hang out. There's a par 3 right there. Another gorgeous Omni Hotel that's brand new. They do fireworks shows, events in that. The Grandscape is also a place that I always recommend people go and check out. It literally has everything and anything that you want to do for adults and kids, and if it doesn't yet, it is coming very, very soon. Everything is there, including Nebraska Furniture Mart and Shields. So absolutely incredible area, and that's just to name a few of the things that are going on in and around North Dallas. It's unbelievable. I could do an entire video on just what's there right now as far as entertainment goes. The neighborhoods in North Dallas also were just nicer overall. They had an insane amount of master plan communities, whether they were completed or coming up soon, to choose from. I just knew with that it was going to be another place that appreciated and my family would enjoy living for quite some time. So they all had pools, walking trails, and some of them have event coordinators just for the community. Trinity Falls is a great example. It's one of my favorite communities, and they have a director of fun in that neighborhood. Multiple amenity centers, 2 resort style pools. One of them just opened. They have a state-of-the-art gym, and I'm not just talking about a little hotel gym. I'm talking about a beautiful gym with like 30-foot glass walls overlooking the pool, 18-hole frisbee golf, catch and release ponds, miles and miles of trails, dog parks, parks on every corner, you name it, they have it. And that's just one of the communities. There's communities like this all over the Dallas area on the north side, and that's just one more thing that drew us to there. We also saw over time in articles and different things that most of these North Dallas communities were all ranked in the top 100 safest places to live in Texas and in the country over and over and over again. It wasn't just a one-time deal. Everybody that lived there said that they really never noticed crime ever in their lifetime of living there. Not saying it doesn't happen, because it does in every city, no matter what the size is, but compared to other areas, it's very, very little. So just for instance, Melissa was ranked the 3rd safest city in all of Texas. And if you don't know how big Texas is, I think we have like 7,000 cities. And then just north of that in Van Alstyne, where my family's located, it was ranked number 13 in the entire state of Texas. North Dallas also has an incredible amount of great schools. So lots of people that relocate here and call me through this channel continually ask about where's the best place to live for the school district. Great schools everywhere. Student-teacher ratio is really good in most of these areas as well. So some of the popular places that people relocate for schools are Prosper, Frisco. Now it's picked up a lot in areas of like North McKinney, Melissa, Van Alstyne, and another one that people don't talk about very often is going to be Lovejoy ISD, which is connected to Allen and Fairview, right next to the Plano area. Just tons of options to choose from. I wouldn't just watch a video and decide, hey, that's where I want my kids to go to school. I would come and actually tour the schools, tour the communities, and get a feel for the area, hop on a Zoom call. We can cover the pros and cons of each area, and then once you come down here, we'll put a game plan together to make sure that you get the best experience possible to figure out where you actually want to be. And with all of this development going up north and everything else that was happening there, we knew that buying a house there would be an awesome investment. I'm talking anywhere in these North Dallas suburbs, like everywhere was developing. We wanted to make sure we purchased a home there as quick as possible. So we ended up building a house in McKinney. I'm not saying McKinney is the best place to do that. I'm just saying it's one of the great locations to do that. We built a house there on the northeast corner in Melissa ISD. It was actually in an area where everybody was like, this is a little too far out. I don't think that's a good idea. And I think we built like a 3,100 square foot home, 2-story we picked any lot we wanted. It's like a quarter acre lot back to a farm in a cul-de-sac, everything that we wanted. I think it was $312,000. That was about 2017. And then 4 years later, we ended up selling that house for nearly $600,000. We made the right move. The place we were at in Forney, not even close to that. So that's just one of the reasons why we were moving there. That's why I bring that up, is because I think if you're an investor or if you're in a family looking for a place to raise a family in a good community with good schools, all the above, that's just the icing on its cake, is the appreciation that you're going to get long term. So with all this being said, I just realized that North Dallas, after living here for quite some time, was just all around a better area, better feel, better communities, better schools, more things to do, better housing options, you name it, and they have it. And I still feel that way today, even though that I still help quite a few people move to the east side of Dallas. I give the pros and cons of each area, and people still make that decision. So in this next section, I'm going to break down who is the East Dallas area still for. Well, if you're looking for an affordable option in the Forney, Mesquite, Terrell, those types of areas, Crandall, you're going to have an amazing amount of options to choose from. We're talking about beautiful new construction homes in the low 300,000s. And if you want a luxury home, I mean, you can get a luxury home easily in the 500,000s, which in these North Dallas suburbs, the majority of them, you're going to be looking in the 600s for a luxury style home. So that is a massive, massive difference for most people. And one thing I will say is that a lot of people try to always jump right into their dream home. Well, if you purchase a home or get into a home, that's when you start building your wealth. What we did is we bought a home that we could afford, and then it appreciated over time. We used that to buy our next house, which is now our dream home. So there's a plethora of options over there, some great communities. You're also going to be able to find homes on acreage just outside of there for a much lower price than you would here in the northern Dallas area. So if you want a home on acreage, you don't have a huge budget, lots of those areas are going to have better options. Now, something that I haven't brought up that I should have is that just north of Forney is Rockwall and Rockwall Heath. These are some of my favorite areas of all, and I consider it's on the east side, but it's a northeast side Dallas suburb. Rockwall and Rockwall Heath, they have McClendon Chisholm that's growing out there. They have lower taxes, lots of options as far as big community lots. They do have the tiny lots, but they have a lot more options as far as big lots go, big, beautiful houses, lower price points. When I was growing up in the Forney area, I always wanted to live in Rockwall, Texas. So you've got Lake Ray Hubbard, the harbor over in Rockwall. This is really going to be one of the hub areas that you check out if you live in Forney. You're going to be driving to Rockwall all the time just to go fishing, hang out on the lake, just beautiful scenery, sunsets. It's just 10 times better than Forney, and it is right up the street. So if you're looking on the east side, I think that's an incredible option to check out. Also, if you are somebody who's going to be working in downtown Dallas, I think it's actually a better option for you than a lot of these northern suburbs. And when I talk about northern suburbs, I'm talking about those ones that are very, very far north, like north of McKinney. So a lot of people choose to live in Melissa, Anna, Van Alstyne, Salina, those types of areas. Your commute time is going to be even longer to downtown Dallas than it would be from Forney. So Forney's actually pretty close, but like I said, it's a 2-lane highway, and if there's a wreck, it's bad news. Highway 80 and Highway 20 or I-20 are about your only options to get in there, but it's still a lot less driving distance than it is from those northern suburbs. Now, they are expanding the Dallas North Tollway, so it's going to be a lot easier for those of you who are choosing Salina to get to Dallas. But like I've said, the majority of people that have called and relocated here, they work in the northern suburbs like Plano with all the Fortune 500 companies, Frisco, McKinney, or they work from home. So the majority of people don't even work in Dallas. When people call and they've never been here, they can get overwhelmed fast. And that's why I'm here to basically break down each and every area, from the neighborhood to the builders to the commute times to the schools, you name it. I'm going to help you do that. I was born and raised on the east side of Dallas, came back, moved to North Dallas. So I know these areas very, very well. The majority of people that you're going to watch on YouTube that are agents of this area have only lived here for maybe a couple of years and started selling real estate, but I'm coming from a perspective that's had generations of families that have lived here in the Dallas area, so I know where you can get the best deals. So remember to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and I would love to help you and your family make a smooth move to Dallas. And make sure to check out this video right here to learn a little bit more about Dallas, Texas.